All right, good morning and welcome to 2018 Wildfire Awareness Week. I'm Glenn Barley. I'm the unit chief for the San Bernardino unit of CAL FIRE, and we'd like to welcome you here today. As you can see behind me, there are a lot of different agencies and departments that are represented here today. Whenever we have a large wildland fire event, it always takes a lot of different folks to address and to fight that wildland fire. And this is really just the tip of the iceberg. There are a whole bunch more departments and agencies that come out and make that possible for us to try and keep the public safe and to protect our property out there. You know, last year at this time when we stood here, we knew that the potential was there for a significant fire year. We really had no idea that the year would result in what it did. One of the most tragic years in California history in terms of fire, with over 10,000 homes were destroyed, over 40 lives were lost last year, and the largest fire in state history occurred last year. This year, the stage is set. It's set much like it was last year. The reality is here in California, it doesn't really matter how much precipitation we've had or how little precipitation we've had. When the conditions are right, we can have a large damaging and destructive fire every year in California, and that is certainly the case this year. Today we have a lot of different speakers that are going to talk about being prepared for that event, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce Bob Baird, Director of Fire and Aviation Management, Region 5 with the U.S. Forest Service.
Thanks, Chief. Hi, good morning. My name is Robert Baird. I'm the Director of Fire and Aviation Management for the U.S. Forest Service for the Pacific Southwest region, which encompasses both California and the Pacific Islands. I'm here to speak on behalf of the federal partners, not only from the Department of Agriculture, but the Bureau of Land Management, the National Park Service, the Fish and Wildlife Service, and all of us in the federal service that support you all here in San Bernardino and the state. We manage more than 20 million of acres in the state of California across 18 national forests. We don't do it alone. We do it in a complex interagency team, as you see behind us. It's not just the resources that you see, the aircraft and the engines. It's the world-class firefighters that all these partners bring every year when we go into fire season. We're seeing that fire season is lasting all year now. Last year, the national forests in California burned 644,000 acres, which was nearly double our 10-year average. Last year was marked by a loss of life. As was spoken, over 40 people, almost 46 people's lives were lost. And again, over 10,000 structures were damaged and destroyed. Those numbers are significant. And also, as you know, here in Southern California, the damage and destruction to the watersheds that occurs. So not only is it the fires, but it's the devastating floods that occur afterwards. The Thomas fire that happened last year set a new record in California for 281,000 acres. A massive fire that burned all the way through Christmas into the new year. And later, the floods and debris that came out of that significantly impacted and devastated parts of Montecito and Santa Barbara, as well as the fire damaging Ventura. What we have here today to talk to you all about is what we see coming in 2018 as far as wildland fire preparedness. We see again tens and thousands of potential acres of the wildland-urban interface that are at threat. We've been working on prescribed burning in many areas of the national forest system, and we've set a record of 47,000 acres of prescribed burning, and it's important to get ahead of the wildfire season to do these prescribed burns. We still have over 129 million dead standing trees in California. That tree mortality in the national forest is dead standing trees. Due to rain, they aren't coming back, and so we've made a great deal of effort and spent over $84 million to remove those dead trees. Already, right now, we have 170 California-based federal wildland firefighters outside the state helping parts of Arizona, Texas, and New Mexico as they are already in fire season and have active fires going on. What occurs during the fire season in California is we then draw upon the federal resources across the United States, as we did last year, to help us deal when we're overwhelmed with resources in given areas of the state. It's important that we look toward prevention. When we talk about one less spark and one less wildfire, the public has a part about making sure that the human-caused fires, which are the majority of the fires, we can try and reduce them. We hope that the public comes and enjoys the national forest, but we ask that they do so safely and are always aware of the risk of illegal fires especially, but accidental fires or campfires that they've left. The largest, the most expensive fire in history, the Sobranes, was started by an illegal campfire that was left. We stand ready with our partners here in the state, Cal OES, Cal Fire, state and local government, our counties, and our local partners to be ready for this fire season and be prepared to respond again as we do constantly in partnership. Thank you very much. Pardon me, I'll be followed by Lana Tomlin, who's the Assistant Sheriff for San Bernardino County.
Good morning. The Sheriff's Department works closely with all of the organizations represented here today. When fire officials determine evacuations are necessary, our deputies are prepared to make the appropriate notifications and aid our citizens when necessary. Please pay attention to neighborhood announcements, news sources, and/or social media for evacuation orders. Don't wait to evacuate. If you feel threatened, leave immediately. You can sign up for alerts through the telephone emergency notification system known as TENS. The Sheriff's Department and Fire use TENS for high-speed mass notifications via telephone and text messages to notify residents in the affected area of emergency situations. Due to our cooperative partnership with County Fire, we are contacted directly and are able to respond to any fire or incident anywhere in the county and/or to assist in neighboring areas. Sheriff's Aviation has a total of 9 helicopters in our fleet, equipped with water dropping capabilities. At any given time, Aviation has 4 to 6 aircraft available for immediate response, for search and rescue and/or firefighting capabilities. Aviation has advanced life-saving or ALS crews available for personnel evacuation on a 24-hour basis. In addition to the flight crews, there are 2 regularly assigned fire paramedic personnel available to assist. In May of 2013, we started the first county-operated fire camp in California. Our inmate hand crews consist of low-level offenders with no criminal history of violence, sexual, or serious violations, no documented gang affiliation, and they must not be a flight risk. The inmate hand crews consist of 23 members, 20 males and 3 females. These hand crews are prepared to provide stellar services to the communities we serve. The inmate hand crews saved the county of San Bernardino an estimated $1 million per year. All gear and equipment was provided by utilizing the inmate welfare funds. These crews are prepared to respond for fire suppression incidents as well as other types of emergency operations. Now it's my honor to introduce to you James Ramos from the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. The Wildfire Awareness Week serves as an important reminder to all of us of not only the catastrophic impact wildfires can have on our communities and natural resources, but the bravery and dedication of our first responders. The County Fire Department, Cal Fire, U.S. Forest Service, and other first responders and law enforcement agencies work every day to protect our community and to protect the structures we call home. As Californians, we have witnessed how wildfires can impact our entire state, from lives and properties we have lost to the immense impacts to our community. We all share the responsibility of preventing wildfires. Together, we can reduce the damages and loss caused by fires. Be aware of your surroundings and prepare your family for disasters. Make sure to heed the warnings provided by our public safety personnel. Their lives are on the line as well. So let's remember to heed the warnings of those coming through in times of evacuation. On behalf of the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, I thank our firefighters for the bravery and always keeping our communities safe. Let's remember to heed the call when the time comes. Thank you. Next, I'd like to bring up Chief Tim Mccord.
Thank you, Supervisor. My name is Tim Mchargue. I represent the San Bernardino County Fire Chiefs Association as their president. I represent local government and local fire district fire departments. And as those departments, we applaud the efforts of our federal, state, and county fire departments. We have a long-standing history of working together for years and years, and we will continue to participate in our robust mutual aid system to respond to emergencies of all types to our residents and of the county and of the state. Thank you. With that, I'd like to invite up Don Trapp, Deputy Fire Chief, San Bernardino County Fire.
Thank you, Chief. Mega fires, mudslides, other extreme weather disasters are California's new normal. In the past 6 months, over winter, California has experienced the most destructive fires and deadliest mudslides in our history. Our danger season is now year-round. Approximately 80% of the resources deployed for disaster response are provided by local government fire agencies. California relies on a 68-year-old disaster response network known as the mutual aid system. It allows local governments to share disaster response resources during large-scale emergencies. Although best in the world when it was developed, it is a reactive system designed to send resources within 12 to 24 hours. In Santa Rosa, just 130 of more than 400 requests for assistance were filled in the initial hours because the system just became overwhelmed. We don't need a new mutual aid system. Rather, it needs to be modernized and be more proactive to combat the intensity and severity of the conditions we're facing today. We must increase the pace and scale of our disaster response, putting first responders and equipment in position to quickly address these emergencies before extreme weather events, a strategy known as pre-positioning. Pre-positioning has proven to be effective in reducing the loss of lives and property. Local and state fire agencies, along with the League of California Cities, formed the Disaster Readiness for Safer Communities, or DRISC, to support a plan to modernize our disaster response system into a proactive system that puts firefighters and equipment in place in advance where we know a disaster is likely to strike. With state and federal wildland agencies struggling to pay for the protection of people and property, the DRISC Coalition is requesting $100 million in augmentation to the state budget to enable the Governor's Office of Emergency Services to accomplish the following goal: to allow local fire agencies to employ pre-positioning as a disaster readiness strategy and to equip them with 21st century tools they need to get in front of fast-moving fires and disasters. As we continue to prepare, and we're united here, we also are urging residents to be disaster ready, not only during the declared fire season, but year-round. The public, you play a vital role in that readiness capability. Ensure you're participating in your local disaster notification system, like the TENS that was mentioned here in San Bernardino County. We also have a ready SB County app available to give you information and notifications. And we always ask, when you're asked to evacuate, please follow the direction and move to a safe area. Many fire agencies have implemented a red flag community notification program by flying a red flag below the American flag at local fire stations to serve as a visual reminder that extreme weather conditions exist. We ask residents to take a red flag warning seriously. Extra precautions should be put in place. Take care, use vigilance when working outdoors, especially with machinery like lawnmowers, edgers, and chainsaws. It's imperative that our residents get a jump on clearing dry brush, weeds, and debris from around their homes. We know triple-digit temperatures and Santa Ana winds strike quickly in our county. The San Bernardino County Fire Department is conducting engine and company-based property and structure assessments in high-risk areas for wildfire. It's a public outreach program called the Residential Assessment, or RAP program. If you have questions on preparing your residents, give us a call. We're more than happy to come out and give you advice and feedback. We urge you to read the Ready, Set, Go wildfire action plans. They're available on most department websites. Once again, it's not a question of if, but when the next major wildfire will occur, Give firefighters a fighting chance to save your home by preparing today. Thank you for your vigilance. And with that, I'd like to introduce the Director of CAL FIRE, Ken Pimlott.
Hi, good morning. And yes, I'm Ken Pimlott, Director of CAL FIRE. And to really wrap things up here this morning, I just want to re-emphasize everything that this multi-agency group behind me has emphasized several times already today. And that's this integrated, coordinated approach to responding to emergencies in California. As you've heard, 2017 was the most destructive and really the largest single set of disasters California has experienced in the wildfire season to date. It certainly put our system to test, but Governor Brown believes in a very strong, forward-thinking emergency response posture and has an expectation of strong coordination between the California Office of Emergency Services, CAL FIRE, the California National Guard, and the California Highway Patrol. This public safety organization group brings forward all the resources of the state and coordinates with over 1,000 fire departments around California. As you've heard, the critical importance of the mutual aid system in California, but also our federal partners, our law enforcement partners, county sheriffs, local police departments, the Highway Patrol, and many, many others are all part of this one effort. Clearly, that effort showed, and despite the loss of 46 lives in last year's tragedies, thousands were saved because of the coordination of all these agencies that you see behind me. We read the weather conditions every day throughout the year. We pre-plan moving resources. We identify where we think the critical threats are going to be. Southern California, we've had air tankers staffed all winter. We have not gone out of a fire season posture in Southern California. Our hand crews have been training for the last several weeks across California. As a matter of fact, as we speak, there's a multi-agency training drill being conducted right here in Southern California as many, many fire agencies are working together, again, to prepare for the event of the larger fire season that's looming. So we're bringing on resources, we're preparing, we're prepared to go outside of California again this year. Last year we brought in firefighting resources from over 17 other states and the country of Australia. So we're prepared to respond and move resources, but the key is, and you heard it here, is the public has a significant responsibility to help in this fight against wildland fire. We're going to bring the resources to respond to the fire. You need to bring your game to preparing your home ahead of that fire. And that means not just doing that clearance around the home in the defensible space and ensuring you have clearly marked addresses, but it's also having your plan identified for how you're going to evacuate, what you're going to take with you. All of those things need to be thought out right now, today, before the fire starts. So when it does happen, and fires will happen, we may even have some this afternoon here in Southern California, you need to be ready right now to evacuate in an orderly and safe manner. Go to readyforwildfire.org. That will provide links and information to all of the websites and all the critical information that you can use for planning. So with that, happy to open it up for any questions.